You didn't unmute, mate.
I clicked unmute and it just ignored it. That's class, isn't it? Not like last time when I just didn't click it. Anyway, it's Boropod. We're live. Fuck's sake. Greg's back. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hello. It's good to be back on the Long Snapper podcast. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a fair look, hasn't it? How's your have your travels been?
All right. It's been mostly for work, so it's not as nearly as much fun as it is actually going away for personal reasons. Yeah, not bad.
Still better than being fucking stuck in lovely sunny England, though, isn't it? Well, I mean,
yeah. It was like minus 12 in Stockholm, so I was quite looking forward to a bit of warmth when I got back to the UK, which is nice.
Yeah. Pat's here, obviously. Hello, mate.
Hello, screw the Texans.
I know you might feel like we're doing an NFL podcast, but this isn't the time or place.
I stand by.
You are right, but yeah, let's move on. Hello, Adam. How you doing?
Hello. You must be so desperate, or just warped. I don't know.
Look. I like to torture you and annoy you, and getting you on a Stevenage podcast when you're not a Stevenage fan seems like the perfect way to do it.
It is nice to have a slightly more neutral voice as well, right? Because either we're super high because we've just seen wins, or we're super grumpy because we've seen performances we don't like. And it's nice to have someone come in with a bit more objectivity to tell us how we should be tempering ourselves.
Yeah.
No one's ever said I'm super high about anything when it comes to Stevenage.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. I being 2 or 3 rows in front of Greg, when Stevenage scored to go ahead, I turned briefly and looked at him, and he just sort of had his head in his hands, basically looked like someone had died.
I was actually texting in the Boropod WhatsApp group. That was it might look like I was in depression, but it wasn't. I was just texting something. I don't know what.
Yeah. That always catches me when we scored our all important winner against Huddersfield. Everybody around me, including Pat, leapt to their feet, and I straight away went phone out. Let's send a sarcastic tweet.
Is this where you're all at? You can't enjoy the big moment because you're thinking, oh, what should Boropod make of this?
No.
Or how can I turn this into a sarcastic dig at somebody else?
That is enjoying it. That is me enjoying it. You should know. You know me for long enough, Adam, that if I can enjoy something while making somebody else annoyed, that is that tiny little window of bliss for me. Doesn't happen very often, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
Not what you're a fan.
Anyway, Stevenage, I forgot the score, 2-1 against Stockport County. Luther played at centre-back. We'll get onto that in a minute, with Good and Pidge. Jasper, Thompson, White, Phillips, Saxon, Early, across defensive / midfield. And then Matty Phillips and Jamie Reid leading the line. If you want to know the order of things, Stockport County went ahead on the 29th minute. Who cares? Because Stevenage equalised 6 minutes later through Cole Piergiani. Apparently, it was Jamie Reid. Look, I've had a look at the replay a few times. It looks like it takes a nick off of Jamie, but everybody has so far given it to Cole Piergiani. So
apart from Drakkers,
yeah.
It looked like Pidge from the other end of the pitch, I should say, and then the announcement came, and that wasn't the name that he went with. I don't know. But it seems to have been given back to Pidge. So,
all the players seem to celebrate with Pidge. So, they're the nearest. So perhaps that's the most accurate as well.
It's just the first game that Carl Piergiani scored a goal and not been given man of the match.
It may well be, and that's definitely a quantifiable claim that we can make. We can research.
I generally can't think of any.
I will look into that. In a minute. And then Matt Phillips scored his first goal for the club off of a nice move in the 57th minute, and then we won. There you go. That's that match sorted.
See you next week.
You trying to get the pod over in 3 minutes?
See you next week.
I thought there were even things I could say about some of that stuff. No, we just
hold on. Look.
We're done.
Stockport had the most shots in the game, 12 shots in total to our 8. Although we had 7 of our 8 shots on target, and they only had 5 on target. They had 70% possession. They had 79% pass success rate, down to Stevenage's 52% pass success rate. We narrowly won the aerial battle, winning 31-29, and they had 5 more corners than us with 7-2. Let's start with that first half, and I was going to try and describe it in one word, but I don't think one word suffices. Fucking dreadful.
That was close.
There we go. You were close. It was shit, wasn't it?
I'm not sure you need to add the dreadful to that.
Yeah. No, but it was shit. It was shit. We were second to every single ball. We couldn't get any kind of flow going. Embarrassing.
Yeah, Stockport were all over us, and they had the beating of us down both flanks. We couldn't stop them getting the ball to those wingers. We looked shaky defending set pieces. It was just hanging on, creating nothing from open play, and then totally against the play, they scored from a set piece the Stockport couldn't clear, and incredibly fortunate to be going in at 1-1 and not a couple of goals down at half time.
When you've got Ollie Norwood playing in deep midfield, pulling the strings from left, right, and centre, it was just way too easy, and we looked really leggy. I was at one point in the first half, I was watching Saxon Early chasing whoever their right winger was. Is it Odin Bailey? Maybe one of them. And he looked dead on his feet. And that first half performance, they were just running rings around us, and we were very, very fortunate to go in 1-1 at half time. I mean, obviously to score from a set piece is against the run of play. It was much needed, but I think if we'd gone in 2-3-0 down, I don't think anyone would have really complained, because it was a really, really poor performance in that first half. But credit to Revs, he got it tactically spot on in that second half.
Mm-hmm. That first half,
the risk.
What else is there to say? It was shit. Next.
At the risk of bringing some neutrality, if that's the right word, I'm not sure I'm neutral.
It's not a word, but is it?
It's neutrality is it's a word.
Is that a word?
Shut up.
It absolutely is a word.
Can't imaginising Switzerland, Greg.
I don't think there's a single person in the vicinity of Stevenage who's heard of neutrality before.
No. All right. Well,
no, your audience.
I didn't think it was like, because that's nice, Nate.
I couldn't remember whether I was or wasn't muted. Sorry, boys. I just go again.
No, you were muted for that, but you were when you were trying to introduce the thing.
Professionalism.
Fucking spit it out, Adam.
I didn't think that the first half was as bad as you guys are making out, because it didn't feel like, Stockport had most of the play, most of the possession, and they looked more dangerous, but it didn't feel like they were knocking at the door the whole time. Like, it didn't actually create all that much in terms of clear-cut chances. I'm not watching this thinking that they're going to score any second. I just watched it thinking, well, Stevenage aren't going to score. 1-0 would have been probably about right.
Yeah, they did only force 4 saves. That surprises me.
But I don't know. It just didn't feel. It didn't feel like you're sort of hanging on. It just felt a bit. Yeah. But there you go. That's some high level analysis.
And now, viewers, you see why he's here. Their opener was just a comedy of errors from our defenders, wasn't it? Marshall just sort of in no man's land. Letha, who I having watched it back over and over again, I don't really know what any of them were doing. It was just sort of, let's just watch. Shall we just watch and see what happens? Which is unlike us. Unlike us from a set play, but it's another error. It's another, maybe not a single person making a very obvious error like we had in some previous games. But it's another really, really, really poor bit of football that's cost us.
Any argument that Marshall was fouled because there were a lot of angry people around?
No, there's no one near him.
I think it was mostly due to what went before, and the referee came in, sort of intervened and said, stop it, and they largely did stop it, I think. And I don't know. Having seen it again, it didn't look like much at all, if anything. So I don't think you could complain.
No, they
also, it looked like the corner went straight in. It's barely a touch. There was another goal that was arguably contentious.
I thought that they planned for this. They knew that if they could put pressure on, put it in the right areas, from right on top of the keeper, that they would be able to be stronger. And they kind of targeted Letha for quite a bit of that game. They put Carl Wootton on for occasions and it caused havoc at times without them necessarily.
Yeah, he was a menace.
Like you said, Adam, without them necessarily kind of knocking on the door constantly, they just looked in control. And from the corners, there was there was two corners. One that went in, it was really just weak defending, to be honest with you. The whole time watched the replay, it looked even worse than it did live. And then the second one, which ended up going, I think the corner came in, I think it hit the bar. I'm not sure if Marshall got a touch onto the bar. I think it hit the bar and went over. And then the referee gave a free kick for what was essentially exactly the same corner routine.
Yeah.
There was no foul there whatsoever. They were just putting it right on top of Marshall, flooding men on the line to try and make it difficult for him to come out and make any kind of claim to it, and whipping it right into those areas. And it was working. It was working well. But I think it's Sidibe, the number 29, who died about 4 times during the game. I think he was getting the beating of Pidge and Good and Letha in the air, like every opportunity given, and just seemed to be leaping from nowhere and winning headers. And it's not a good place to be when your centre half's getting out-thought in the air by a winger who died 4 times. So it looked
like he was about 5. It was only about 5'8" as well.
He was, yeah. I mean, he had like a trampoline, I'm assuming, because he was just seemed to be out jumping everybody. But there was at least 2 or 3 times that he could have scored with his head. But the first half was just frustration. And I mean, I got to half time pretty happy it was 1-1. I was relieved more than happy, actually, but because I think it could have been very, very different, and probably arguably should have been different. I think if they had enough quality to test Marshall more. And Marshall made a really good save in the first half as well. Can't remember who it's from, but there was a really good save that he made. I think it was just before their goal.
I think that was the corner that was their goal, was from that.
Was it just before that? Yeah. So but it was a really good stop from Marshall, who, he's someone who got a bit of stick in the early part of his career, but I think he is a good keeper. I think he can make those kind of saves. He's not he's a lot better than he was in the early part of his career with us, where he didn't look like he wanted to claim anything. He's getting better on that side. He's not quite there yet in that regard. But it was a really frustrating first half, and I kind of felt like changes were needed. I was surprised there wasn't any subs made at half time, if I'm honest. But tactically, it all changed, which was good.
Sidibe's profile says he's 6'3" for what it's worth, but that is
not
having 6'3". No, I wouldn't have even said 6.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Well,
my dating profile says I'm 28, so I suppose
How does your wife feel about it? We changed things up. We changed things up a little bit in the second half. The main change being that Dan Phillips was pushed into a more advanced role and told to, I'll assume the instruction Revs gave him was find any way you can to neuter Ollie Norwood.
Stop them at source, because we can't stop them once they get the ball to the wingers. Edun's got Pattendon on toast, and I'm not changing him for Luther for reasons best known to myself, although we went on to win, so it worked. So we've got to cut out the balls for him.
But it worked because Norwood was a shades of what he was in the first half in terms of controlling the game for them. He ran sort of everything that they did positive in the first half really ran through him, and in the second half that just wasn't the case.
Wasn't just Norwood either. I thought his press was pretty much all across that midfield at times. He covered every blade of grass, I felt like, on Saturday, and he was everywhere in that second half. And I think the only thing that would have potentially stopped him from putting the performance in he put in is if he'd got himself booked, which, let's face it, Dan Phillips loves doing that. So I think he did incredibly well to...
We love that from him as well.
Yeah, but I think he did really, really well in that second half to almost strangle the game away. Yeah, Norwood was a big factor behind that, but I thought Stokes, the other midfielder they had, and he was good in the first half. I think between the two of them, they were really running the show, and
they both had significantly worse second halves.
100%. Yeah, I mean,
Norwood. I would say Norwood in the first half had almost 14% possession of the entire game, just him. In the second half, that would dip to just below 10%. Where for a single person impact, that's actually a pretty enormous swing.
Yeah. And I thought in the second half, Matt Phillips as well was excellent up front. I thought he, for a player who's barely kicked a ball in anger for months, he just has that quality that not many players in a Stevenage shirt possess. He just looks a class above, and yes, he's 35 or whatever he is, but I think he doesn't really look it. He seems to have energy. He seems to kind of provide a lot more than your stereotypical signing who hasn't played in months and is 35 years old. You're not expecting a great deal from him, but he'd be one of the first on the team list at the moment for me.
Absolutely. He's got a physical presence about him as well that doesn't always come with that level of skill. You might get one or the other, but he seems to have that domination, and he'll win. He'll get to a lot of balls first. He'll beat a lot of people to 50-50 balls with, and just use that strength cleverly. Really impressive.
We wanted a bit of a bastard up top to go alongside Reed, who is not a bastard. And we thought we found it in Harry Cornick, who obviously then has died. He hasn't died, obviously, in case you're not aware. He's just fucked his leg.
At time of recording.
Time of recording, yes, indeed. And it's nice to see that Phillips can fill that void, but will offer a bit more than Cornick, I think, in terms of quality. Obviously, they've both played a significant chunks of their career, or at least decent chunks of their career at the level above. Certainly, Phillips, this might be the lowest he's played in his career. Whereas Cornick, obviously, he's been about a little bit.
He was at Oxford,
Luton and Bristol City and stuff. So well, the thing I like about Matt Phillips is he'll hold it up, he'll lay it off, and then he will turn and drive into that space to look for a return, which we don't see that a lot. Like Cornick would do really well at holding the ball up and trying to lay it off to somebody, and then wouldn't try to continue to build that momentum forward quite in the same way that Phillips does. Reed doesn't hold the ball up, or he doesn't retain the ball when he holds the ball up. So it's nice. It's nice. We've been crying out for a striker that is capable of doing that for 2 or 3 years. And when I say 2 or 3 years, I really mean 2 or 3 decades.
He's he had that. I think it was in the second half when he was sort of chasing a bit of a lost cause, and he was expecting Reed to kind of cut off the pass that would have gone back. I think it was back towards sort of the goalkeeper, and Reed was just sort of stood there watching it rather than actually kind of giving that option of okay, if I go and close that guy down, this guy's got no option other than to probably kick it out of the stadium. But and then you can just see his reaction was just of like bemusement and just it's just like, well, why are you not there? You should be right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I've given you this opportunity now to go and make this really difficult for them, and you've just given them an easy way out. And that's the kind of experience that clubs like us don't get very often. But so far, he's been able to stay fit, and like I say, he just looks that class above. And this is a pretty experienced squad as a whole. It's not there's not much youth in it really, but sometimes that know-how, the way he's played consistently Championship, Premier League football, we've got experience, but experience more at this level or potentially lower. And his signing for me has been. I was expecting when he first came in, it was a bit of an odd signing. I wasn't expecting much at all, but
bit of a Kyle Edwards.
A little bit, but Carl Edwards it was a similar story where he had that quality, he just couldn't stay fit. And I think Phillips so far has been able to stay fit, but I think he's head and shoulders above where Carl Edwards
Phillips, it's 3 weeks. Like, let's not count. Let's not count our chickens too soon.
3 weeks.
So it's the club record consecutive appearances. Yeah.
It's a couple of weeks off. Yeah,
still longer than I expected. If I'm honest, I was fully expecting him to play a game, be out for a couple of weeks, and just but he's been consistently playing and pretty much 90 minutes every game.
Yeah, let's talk about his goal, because it's only 3 of our players involved. Harvey White pinches the ball on the right hand side. There were Stockport calls for a foul, and you definitely see EFL refs give them, but it was quite a nice, quite refreshing for an EFL ref not to give it just because somebody happens to have hit the deck. White then, turns and drives forward with it, feeds it into Jamie Reed down the right, who does well to take it in stride, move it forwards, and whips a low ball across the middle, right in that perfect area for an experienced head like Matt Phillips to get onto and tuck away. I said it about Phillips already once today. It's sort of the sort of thing that we've been crying out for in terms of sort of forward play, isn't it? It's how often do you see a ball come in from that sort of area that Reed played it in, and there's no one there to knock it in. 90% of crosses so far this season has not had anybody in there because Jamie Reed's the one out into that position to try and get the ball in, and he's also the player that you want to be in the middle. So it's been it was a lovely touch. Those sort of goals are almost bread and butter goals for strikers, aren't they? You'll score a hatful of those throughout your career, and then certainly at this level, then the rest of your goals will be you have a few stunners, a few headers, but that's the majority of the goals you're going to score. And mate, I am delighted if that's the goals that we're going to be getting every week. I don't need them to be flashy 30-yard screamers every single goal. If we can get the ball into wide areas and drill it across, and we've got some fucker in the middle who's just going to nip in front of his defender and poke it in.
Jamie Reed could stop trying to cross the ball into himself.
Yeah,
it was a lovely ball in. Absolutely
fantastic.
Absolutely beautiful, and it was a goal before it got there. It was one of those like you could.
But Phillips had plenty to do, didn't he? Phillips had plenty to do. He had 2 defenders and a goalkeeper in front of him, and he's managed to split the defenders, get in front of the
maybe where I was made it look so obvious. You could tell the timing of the pass. It was just perfect.
Yeah. We do see those every now and then. Like if I think back to Harvey White's goal earlier on in the season, lovely bit of play down the left, and I think Kemp rolled the ball into Phoenix, who just played like a beautiful pass into Harvey inside the box. It was like, as that move was developing, so many people in the ground were sat there going, "It's going to be a goal. I'm telling you, it's going to be a goal." Like the play is perfect, and then obviously Harvey gets on the end of it and just pokes it in, and it was sumptuous. It was lovely. Exactly what
Good
you
old
want.
Phoenix. I remember him.
Yeah. He's exciting, isn't he? On the bench.
Ploughing a lone
He's not even
down
on the bench.
Not even on the bench. Yeah.
The run from Matty Phillips though it's one of those ones that run towards the near post. I think most centre forwards that we've had certainly in more recent years would just be standing there waiting for the cross, but making that run, made that goal for him, and again that's all
timing. Like I say, it's like
of course it is.
Absolutely.
But also, and that's what made the cross even better for Reed as well. So he not only put it on a plate, but at that perfect time. Because if he makes that run and Reed just misses that by a split second, that runs away out for a throw-in or a goal kick, best case scenario. So it was a thing of beauty. And they're the sort of goals that they look very easy, but they're nowhere near as easy as they look in that regard. I think there's a lot of skill that goes into getting that timing right.
Makes a mockery of the notion of needing time to gel when you think like he looked more dialed in to the rest of that team after an hour than some players have looked having had a whole summer's training with the lot. It's just about how sharp you are.
That's that know-how. That's that experience of playing at that higher level, right? And he's not even a centre forward. He's played most of his career as a winger. He's not even played as an out-and-out forward in most of his career, to my knowledge, anyway. He just sometimes those types, and it's like Ollie Norwood playing in the middle of Park for Stockport, a player who's played again at a much higher level, who's just pulling strings left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
he's not got the legs. He's not going to overrun Dan Phillips all day. But you give him time and space, he's going to be picking passes here, there, and everywhere. And sometimes it's that kind of experience, and we've got plenty of that, but probably not at that higher level. And that's what I think we've been probably arguably lacking is that know-how and someone where the game slows down for them because it is a simple game to them because they've played at a much higher level with much more technically gifted players than probably where they are now.
One thing Dan Phillips does have is the legs.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it there. Leave it there. Yeah. You're right. He does have the legs.
We'll clip that.
Is that like El McPherson and being the body? Is that the?
It is now.
Before we go on to anything else, I wanted to have a think about sort of our expectations over the course of the season, and if we're on track, if you think that we're doing well, whether we're going well, whether we're underperforming a little bit, overperforming. I think I genuinely know the answer, but I just wanted to gauge your sort of feelings on it. So obviously 33 games for us played, some are 35, some are 34, but us 33 games played, 14 wins, 9 draws, 10 defeats, 37 scored, 35 conceded, which is up there with the fourth fewest goals conceded in the division so far. But it is also the fewest goals, second fewest goals, third fewest goals conceded. But we only have a goal difference of 2. We're on 51 points. How do we feel we're going based on sort of pre-season expectations of where we are now?
I mean, if they win their game in hand, they're in the playoffs. So you would have absolutely taken having it within your own hands to be in a playoff spot come 32 games into the season in pre-season, right? You were thinking, 14th to 10th is acceptable. And if you're above that, that's the bonus, and we're above that. So there's been some times when they haven't met their own expectations, but for the most part, I think we've exceeded it.
Yeah.
Is this, Pat, we had a chat when we were driving to Bristol to watch the Super Bowl, which was good fun. But I digress. And what I said to you is I kind of asked a similar question, but it feels as though maybe less so in recent weeks than we've had a couple of good wins. But because Stevenage started the season so well, the expectations maybe were too high. at that point, and because it's leveled out a bit, maybe it's felt a bit like it's running out of steam. I don't know, but if you go back to the start of the season, you'd absolutely take that position. It's just because you've had flying high so early on in the season, and then you've kind of regressed to the mean a little bit. But you'd surely take where you are.
Yeah, 15 points clear of relegation with 13 games to go. Thank you.
It's a weird one because we came out to start the season so strongly. Like we got to the beginning of October or middle of October, and we were absolutely flying high. But then we had 3.5 months of what was predominantly dross, like really, really bad. Like, so to be where we are is unbelievable, because it's not many teams can go 3.5 months of a season playing as badly as we did and still be 1 point off playoffs with 2 games in hand of 6th, 1 game in hand of 5th. Like it's ridiculous, really. So look, 13 games to go. We're probably going to end up around, I would assume, around the sort of 70 point mark, 70, maybe 73 points, anything between that. You can't really say that's regardless of where that leaves us in the actual table. I don't think you can say that's a bad season at all for a club of our size in League One, even though League One this year is not a great quality, and I think that's pretty well documented. Aside from probably Lincoln and Cardiff, everyone else is very much of a muchness, or just outright bad if you're Northampton and Port Vale.
Well, I think sorry, go on.
No, go on, mate.
But no, go on, you finish while my child is screaming.
I thought that was you.
Thought Pat was just bored of my point. Yeah, we would have
murdering a cat in the background.
we would have taken that at the start of the season, and I think I'm not getting ahead of myself thinking about playoffs. I'm not trying to be that
playoffs.
I'm not trying to be that at all, but like I'm not getting ahead of myself, because that there's a lot more football to be played, and at some point there will be a run that we go on of 3 or 4 games where things don't quite go to plan. We don't play particularly well, and we lose some games, and then all of a sudden if results don't go your way outside of that, you're miles off. So, but 33 games in, 1 point off playoffs, I don't think you can say it's anything other than a successful season so far.
Yeah, well, look, I've done a little bit of maths here. I've calculated our points, the whole division's points per game, and then multiplied that by how many games to play to give us a very loose projected final league table. It's interesting. By the points per game metric so far, we should finish 6th.
So if there's another global pandemic that happens tomorrow, you're in the playoffs.
China, get on them bats.
The points per game, Macclesfield will be spinning in their graves right now.
Can you imagine? Stevenage being the major beneficiaries again. They would, yeah. But Cardiff projected to win with 97 points. Lincoln in second with 96. Bolton in third with 80, Bradford fourth with 78, Stockport fifth with 76, then Stevenage sixth with 71 points. So that's 20 points from the available 39, is it? 29? Something like that. It can't be 29, it would be 30, wouldn't it?
39.
39 available points. Yeah, that makes sense. That's good maths. It's not that hard to work out either. Reading would miss out by 2 points. They'd finished 7th on 69 points. Huddersfield would drop 2 places from the current table, down to 8th and 68 points. Then it's largely the same. Luton would drop down 1 place. Peterborough would drop a couple. Barnsley would rise a few. Exeter would drop a bit. Mansfield would drop. Will leapfrog them. Burton will stay more or less where they are. Doncaster, Wigan, Blackpool. Blackpool would go down. Port Vale would go down with 39 points. Rotherham would go down, albeit 1 point ahead of Northampton, who would also drop down. And then the most disappointing piece of news from this projection. So the good news is this isn't what's going to happen. Is that Leyton Orient would avoid the drop? They would finish level on points with Blackpool.
Boo!
But
sorry, Langers.
Hang on. By this, I've only got it rounded to no decimal points. But if I go out, they would by this metric they would finish with marginal more points. So we'll just say that's goal difference, and then cry about it into our cups of tea. But yeah, as much as you like Langers, you hate to see that, don't you?
Yeah, I hate Wellens more than I like Langers, which is a sad state of affairs, but it's true.
Which is impressive because Langers is class. That really tells you how much.
Oh yeah.
Fucking wand Richie Wellens is.
The saddest part is that he's not even going to get another job to jump to. Like,
right. His
stock's not exactly high right now, is it?
Right, exactly. His stock is absolutely salted, muddy, horrible shit. He's been boiled for way too long. He should have jumped when the iron was hot.
Surprised he didn't, to be honest. He normally does.
Yeah. What a shit puncher. Anyway, yeah. I mean, my take on all that is on how we've done is if we think back to pre-season, I think we've done we're doing it excellently. The run at the beginning of the season, though, makes if we miss out on the playoffs, even though you have to say overall we've actually done really well this season, it's just going to make it sting, isn't it? Missing out on the playoffs after that start.
I think there's been so much that's gone on since that start and that 3.5 months I mentioned earlier. I think I certainly expected us to just end up being mid-table, 13th, 14th, which at the start of the season I'd have taken. So the fact that we're still in the race for the playoffs right now, I think the sting is going to come later if we get to that point where we're a game or two away and then we end up throwing it away. That will sting a lot more. I don't think right now there's still that no expectation of playoffs, but it would be nice rather than okay, we are where we are. We got to go and finish this off, and that might change if we win that couple of those games in hand against.
Well, the thing is, the games in hand are against Orient and Barnsley, but the Barnsley game in hand is like the third last game of the season now. So it's
assuming it doesn't get postponed.
Assuming it doesn't get postponed again.
Too hot. Sorry, get heat stroke. Can't play it.
But what makes it being so late, sort of so tough, is you've got that sort of game in hand for so long that I don't know, having that so late, like it's I think it's really difficult to, like, having it early would be such a good thing for momentum if we go and win it, right?
Yeah. I mean, by necessity, we've got a pretty thin squad in places, and we've seen like 2 injuries at fullback, and you're down to 1 fit fullback in either position, and short of strikers, got Phillips in, but it still looks like 1 more injury there, and you're really, really struggling. So it's going to take a bit of luck and some really good man management to get us to the end of the season without being absolutely down to the bare bones in certain places and struggling in games because of that.
I think that's more a tactical thing, though. The current way that we're playing with 3 at the back, you have an injury or 2, then you're right, you're struggling in certain areas. But there's players that didn't make the 18 on Saturday that we spent 200 grand on one of them in the summer, which appreciate for the Spurs fan who's with us that's what they pay for a weekly wage for their hilarious football players. But nevertheless, that's for a club like Stevenage, that's a hell of an investment for a player that can't even make the bench right now. And
I think he was always seen as a future prospect, though, wasn't he, for Phoenix, as opposed to
was he? I mean,
he's
like
ready.
24?
He's ready for League One now. Yeah, but 24 is still pretty young in the grand scheme of things. I'm not going down the Nick route and saying he's only 24.
25.
He's only 25. He's only 25, but like,
you're not signing a 25-year-old to be like, we'll see what he's like in 3 years' time.
No,
like,
but he's not. He's certainly not the finished product, is he? Like, we don't have
No, if it was a finished product, he wouldn't be playing for Stevenage in League One.
Yeah, he'd be signed for Man City age 15 and never been seen of again.
When's Tyrese Simpson coming back? That's what we all want to know.
Yeah.
What happened with Lewis Freestone? Where's Nick? Nick's the in the know guy. He's normally finger on the pulse.
What are you talking about?
Well, he didn't play on Saturday. He wasn't even on the bench.
Don't know.
Very observant.
I'll tell you something. Something I spotted.
Go on.
That doesn't mean anything whatsoever. But I like the fact that there were. Okay, Luther may not technically be a right back on the pitch, but you had two. Each team had a number 2 with a double-barreled surname.
Game's gone.
Good old Dacres Cogley, the posh village in Northants, yeah.
Game's gone.
Or is it back? I don't know.
You were. I do appreciate that. Is the most Adam observation that could possibly have been made.
I don't say that. I put a message in our group.
You did also point it out. Greg literally posted it into the Boropod.
I've never been slapped around the face virtually before.
10 minutes into the game, and I didn't reply with it because I had a feeling that the reaction would have gone that way. But I nearly said, "All right, Foxcroft." So you bringing that up now, it really is superb. I was going to move us on, but we haven't mentioned Saxon Early. He was fucking superb and deserves to be called out. And
the East End did plenty of that, which was especially in the first half where he's playing in front of them, and even in the second half when he wasn't.
Yeah, no, he deserved it. He deserved it. His performance, sort of quite a first half. Didn't
he looked dead on his feet in the first half. He was getting run ragged down that left, but second half he was unbelievable.
Second half was absolutely superb. I think with Norwood being sort of closed down by Phillips, Bailey had to come inside more. Diamond ended up coming inside more, which meant that it was sort of Saxon versus Dacre Cogley, and early then had him on toast, so that was nice. Delicious. Little snack for the second half. Beautiful. Anyway, I just wanted to bring it up because it hadn't been mentioned, and Matty Phillips got man of the match. You'll be unsurprised to learn that WhoScored.com has Cole Piagiani as man of the match. But I think Sax deserved it for his general performance. White also had a very good game, as did Charlie Good. But Charlie Good having a good game is not a surprise. That's not news.
Again, I thought first half Charlie was well off it.
Obviously, I enjoy Harvey White every time I see him, and well, as a Spurs connection, but it's
well, you won't see him much more. He's off to Preston in the summer. Probably.
Yeah, you said that in January. It didn't happen then.
It didn't. You're right. But he'd gone massively off the boil sort of early December, and he had a run of, like most of them, a run of not many good games in that spell, didn't he?
Well, fingers crossed he has a nice average Easter and a sort of dip at the end of the season, so he'll stick around a bit.
Yeah, fingers crossed he goes off the boil just enough to put everybody else off. Dearie me. Right.
I think he's kind of made for a club like Stevenage. I think you go and stick him in a bigger club somewhere. I don't see him excelling in the same way.
Got to be a big fish. That's where the fun is.
That's what they say. That well-known phrase, "Be a big fish." That's where the fun is. That's it's well known. Yeah. Anyway, right, we're going to play a game.
Ooh,
it's quiz time. Adam, we do these in the middle of our podcast, not at the beginning. We're playing.
Because Langus doesn't listen.
We're playing a game that was a favourite of Pat's at the very least from the old toffee days of Pat. What was it called? I can never remember what it's called. Stephen Dean.
Guess the team from a game What Happened Years Ago.
Yeah, name a team from a game What Happened Years Ago. That's it. Or as we like to call it, names on the sheet. However, because we've got Adam with us, and it would be mighty unfair for him to name a Stevenage lineup.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
I'm going. Basically, you can both pick either side, players from either side of Stevenage's
I know what you're going to say.
5th round FA Cup replay loss at White Hart Lane. Spurs 3, Stevenage 1. Sometimes I do a bonus. I do bonuses for whether players started. Usually you get 2 points if they started, 1 point if they were just on the team sheet, and then you get a bonus point, so potentially 3 points if they scored. We're not doing any of that this time. Instead, Adam can have 2 bonus points for every single Borough player that he can name, while these fucking anoraks will only get 1 point.
God,
regardless of team. So, Adam, I've stacked it. I've stacked the game firmly in your odds. So I really look forward to Pat winning. As you are our guest, you may begin proceedings. You can pick players from either side. We've got the starting 11 and we have the bench.
What year was it? Did you say?
I didn't say. It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
2012.
12.
I believe
So I hate this. I hate everything about this.
I could tell you now very quickly. My first idea was I was going to get you all, including you, Adam, to pick players that play for Stevenage with the name Adam. It could be Adam, Adams,
Marriott,
Adamson.
Hey,
There were
get a point for that.
No, there were several of them.
There's not enough though.
I decided that was too tough because there's only about 8 answers, and you would get one, and then you just shrug for the rest, and then at least half of them, I think, even these 2 wouldn't get. So
I don't know. We listed them all the other day, I think.
Yeah, we did the other half in the group chat.
I wonder if Adam Marriott played in that game in 2012. So I get more points if I get a Stevenage player. That was the gist of.
That's
a lot of.
You get 2 points if you name a Stevenage player, and 1 point if you name a Spurs player. These 2 get 1 point for either side.
All right. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm going. This is a high risk early guess, but Adam Marriott.
Oh no! It's too early for Adam Marriott.
He's got a very narrow window, Adam Marriott, bless him.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to. There's a version of Championship Manager or Football Manager where I had a Stevenage team, and he was definitely around then. But maybe that's not as long ago as I think it is.
I think he may have joined the season following this one.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good 2-year spell at List Hospital, in fairness.
Yeah, he did. Yes. Yeah. I think they've named a ward after him, haven't they? For the length of time he was there. Right, Greg, you can go next.
So it's 1 point regardless of the team. Right?
Yeah, one
and you don't get any points for the scorer?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go with the scorer anyway, and that's Joel Byram.
Correct. Patrick?
And I mean, the tactical thing to do here is take Spurs players, so I'm going Gareth Bale.
Correct. Adam?
Jermaine Defoe.
Jermaine Defoe, yeah, correct. I'm sat here right now, so tempted to sit here and just get on WhatsApp and just start sending Adam clues for Stevenage players.
God. There's a couple.
There's one who used to play for Spurs.
Keep one in your head. Yeah. Keep one in your head. Keep them in your head. Really think of them. Greg, you're next.
So used to play for Spurs and Stevenage. Chris Day.
Oh, that was the one I. Oh,
Greg, there you go.
He was definitely my very aging goalkeeper in that championship.
Absolutely,
absolutely,
yeah, absolutely. England's number 1, all the way. Pat.
Sorry, Danny Rose.
Danny Rose did play. Adam?
Not that one, Adam.
I was going to say which Danny Rose, yeah. Definitely clear which one that was. I'm going to go with Ronnie Henry.
Ronnie Henry, great work. Adam gets his bonus point because I assume he's going to get no more.
you say assume correctly.
Greg.
Scott Laird.
Lady.
Scott Laird is correct. Do you know what I did? While I was putting the formulas together, I actually did give Greg and Pat bonus points for getting Spurs players. So I've just adjusted the formula to make sure that that's fucking knocked on the head. Pat,
Aaron Lennon.
Aaron Lennon.
That's a good shout.
I love your tactic of taking down Adam's only path to victory. Adam.
Michael Dawson.
Boo.
Michael Dawson was on the field. Greg.
Okay, I'm gonna start fucking up Adam's game here. Why not? I'm gonna go with. I remember who was in goal that night. It was Carlo Cudicini.
It was Carlo Cudicini.
I was not going to get him. Absolutely no way.
Really?
Well, it wasn't going to be my first guess.
Right.
Or probably second or third.
Well, let's take a current manager, but probably not for much longer. Scott Parker.
Scott Parker did indeed play in the middle of the park. Back to Adam.
See, the problem is this is a much more memorable game for you than this.
Yeah.
That's is very obvious.
Were you there?
No.
Hold on, Spurs won. Spurs
Oh.
won. That must be pretty memorable.
Kyle Walker.
Boo!
Kyle Walker was on the bench. But you still get
that gets me a point or not.
You still get the same amount of points.
All right.
Greg.
I'm gonna go with Van der Vaart.
Ravel van der Vaart did play. Pat.
Nico Cranshaw.
That's a great shout, Patrick. He did
I
play.
remember him playing.
He obviously Harry Redknapp was a manager at the time, wasn't he? It was around the time that England were looking for a manager, and everybody, including I seem to remember Stevenage fans, were chatting something about Harry Redknapp for England. So
you'd have picked an England team exclusively of people who rented houses from him.
But obviously Crenshaw was there. That's why Jermaine Defoe was there. Frankly, I'm amazed Peter Crouch weren't there.
He might have been my next guess.
There you go.
I've told you this before, to be fair.
There's only two from the starting 11, both defenders, waiting to be picked on the Spurs side of things.
Oh, that's that. I won't guess the midfielder that I was about to. Bloody hell! I don't know. This is just getting desperate. Benoit Asuakoto.
Oh, no. Mercenary.
No, not there. I was going to give you a clue for one of them, but I'll hold it.
I think I know one of the defenders.
Go
on. Blackburn Rovers legend Ryan Nelson.
Yeah. I was literally going to say one of them played a significant chunk of his career at Blackburn Rovers. Yeah, Pat.
I have.
Watch him go and get the last defender.
I've completely lost track of who we said and who we haven't said at this point, so I'm just going to guess my favourites, and I'm going Robin Shroot. Robin
Shroot did indeed start the game.
Started? What?
He started the game.
No wonder we lost.
I didn't think he started.
Adam.
There's the bench as well, right?
Yeah, there's a bench as well.
Generally,
who was your usual goalkeeper? Goalkeeper at the time.
That it could have been. It's too late. It's got to be too late for Paul Robinson. Oh, Brad Friedel.
Brad Friedel did indeed sit on the bench that evening. Greg?
I've run out of Spurs players, so I'm going to go back to Stevenage. I'm going to go with, I'm pretty sure we haven't said him, John Ashton.
John Ashton, yep. Patrick?
Darius Charles?
Darius Charles did play. Fuck knows where, because Scott Laird played, so he must have started up top with somebody else who hasn't been mentioned yet. I was about to say the player that he started up top with.
Good save.
Which would really have given Adam
Give yourself a point.
Adam.
Oh, I don't know who that defender's going to be. I don't think.
He was another one that followed Harry about a little bit.
Oh, I know it is.
Are you thinking about the shirt of the other team that he certainly played for?
Yeah.
Does he have the same first name as a Pakistani fast bowler?
He does. He does.
Talk about give it away.
Oh, let's go on further. Yeah, he played for Portsmouth.
Is his surname the capital of...
My favourite thing is that all three of us clearly know who it is, and Adam is fucking oblivious.
I mean,
how many footballers have played for Tottenham that their surname is the fucking capital of a city, a capital of a country? Yeah, we've only had 11 Londons play for us.
I mean, based on these clues, all I've got is I don't know, Waka Uwagadugu. I don't know.
You got the right cricketer at least.
Oh, what?
Is that your answer? Is that your
done.
answer?
I'm done.
Right, look, we'll finish this round. Greg?
Oh, dear. I'll go... I'll go with the Tottenham defender we're missing. Yunus Kabul.
Yunus Kabul.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. It's not spelt the same.
Oh, dearie me. Pat.
There are a lot of capital cities in the world, all right?
There are a few.
That wasn't the first one that came to mind.
Chris Beardsley.
Chris Beardsley was indeed up front alongside. Right. You see, this means that we've got a 8-8 tie between Adam and Greg. So
if Greg can name another Stevenage player.
No. We're gonna avoid that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, whoever names the referee first gets the win.
Don't tempt me. I'll probably be able to remember.
I'll give you a clue. He's a prick.
He gave that shit penalty for Gareth Bale kicking Mark Roberts.
Yeah, it was of course Michael Oliver. He was the referee.
What a wanker.
No, you've just mentioned it.
I never even guessed Ledley King, did I? I mean, not that he's a capital city.
He he wasn't involved. On the bench, you had Brad Friedel, William Gallas, Luka Modric, Giovanni Dos Santos, Kyle Walker, Emmanuel Adebayor, and Jake Livermore.
We should have got Adebayor. He scored.
He did.
I had Modric also
yeah.
Huddleston as up my sleeve as guesses, but they weren't defenders. So
no. The names not mentioned for Stevenage were Mark Roberts, Laurie Wilson, Michael Bostwick, Ali and Julian, Phil Edwards, Stacey Long, Ben May, Peter Wynn, Janison Myrie Williams, and Craig Reed.
Janison Myrie Williams, Jesus, I was never dredging that.
I would have been fucking impressed if anyone.
He came on as well, didn't he?
Myrie Williams. He did, yeah. He did come on. Right. Right. The tiebreaker. As Greg's already said, a questionable penalty was given to Stevenage, tucked away by Joel Byram. the person who can tell me the closest to the minute when the penalty was scored, because we don't have the minute it was given, but the minute the penalty was scored will win the quiz.
It was
And Greg, I'll make you go first.
Bastard. It was early, I know that. Fifth minute.
Okay.
See, I'd be. I couldn't live with myself if I went, sixth minute. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to say.
No. Your chances are, you either just go fourth or sixth.
I was going to do an honourable thing and go like 13th. But
fuck it.
Sixth minute.
Greg wins. It was the 4th minute.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Oh, I tried to hand it to you, Adam. You did.
I don't deserve anything.
Well. You did very well in trying to throw that away. I appreciate it.
Ronnie Henry, fair play to you.
Got Ronnie Henry. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Shout out White Hart Lane for being the stickiest sports venue I've ever been to, by the way. Absolutely disgusting.
There is a significant improvement there.
Yeah, there is. Where
until you go outside the stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still very much the same.
Whereabouts were you sat, Pat?
I don't remember. It was like in a corner, quite low down.
Upper or lower? We had two sections, didn't we? Yeah, I was lower, like almost behind one of the posts. It was the worst viewing position I've ever been at a football match.
Yeah, absolutely no fucking clue what was going on at the other end. Dodgy penalty or not, no idea.
Incredible how poorly some of those old grounds are designed. Fucking atrocious, that position.
Character, though. It's got character.
I think it's got more.
Had a better name, I'll say that.
Well, yeah. It certainly had a better name.
Not that we're in any position to throw stones at that at the moment.
The Stevenage FC Stadium is a belter.
Why don't they just go back to Broadhall Way? And just go let's go back to naming things after the road. That's how it should be.
Genuinely think that Phil Wallace chuckles to himself at the thought of us being annoyed that it's not called Broadhall Way.
They're very bad at it, you fool.
It still says Lamex all across the top of the west side.
It does say Lamex absolutely everywhere. Right, let's have a look at the league table. Port Vale are bottom on 27 points. Let's face it, they're basically Sheffield Wednesday at this stage. They're already gone.
No straight. It's bad enough as it is.
I apologise, Pat.
Downhill's
Rotherham also, it's they're only 3 points adrift of potential safety, but I don't see them picking up enough points personally. They're on 34. Northampton 22nd on 35. Orient 21st on 36. You've got Blackpool in 20th on 37. Wigan 19th on 37. Doncaster and 18th on 39. Burton also on 39 points in 17th. You've got Mansfield in 16th on 40 points. Every single week that they are still in League One, I'm astonished. Exeter in 15th on 41 points. AFC Wimbledon, who managed to sort of right the ship a little bit after having a worse slide than we did after starting the season positively at the beginning. They're in 14th. Barnsley are in 13th on 44 points. Plymouth are in 12th on 46. Also on 46 points are Peterborough in 11th. Luton are in 10th on 47 points. You've got Wickham in 9th on 50 points. Stevenage in 8th on 51. Reading also on 51 in 7th place. Huddersfield on 52 points to 6th. Stockport currently 5th on 56. Bradford 4th on 58. Bolton 3rd on 61. Lincoln 2nd on 71. And Cardiff top of the pile on 72 points. Both of those two teams have 32 plus goal difference. Cardiff being 5 ahead in goals scored, and Lincoln being 5 better off in goals conceded. I really hope Lincoln pip Cardiff to the title. That would be wonderful.
and they're playing this weekend, so it's huge.
Yeah,
huge game at the top of the league.
Huge game at the top of the league. Talking of the games coming up this week,
it's going to be weird having Spurs against Lincoln in the Championship.
Even weirder if we end up somehow getting promoted.
Oh fuck!
Can you imagine?
No, because I'll be doing a quiz about it in 2040. I can't remember any.
We will. There's a non-0% chance, a quite significant percent chance that we would go down with one of the lowest point scores, points tallies in history in the Championship.
But it won't be as low as this season's.
It won't be as low as this season. Thank you, Sheffield Wednesday, for guaranteeing that.
Stop giving yourself strays.
Although if you believe,
I'm allowed. They're my strays. I own them.
If you believe certain people on Twitter, now the Lamex is not investing, we're in serious financial difficulty. That's all I keep hearing on Twitter from absolute knobheads who don't understand how this football club works.
Yeah.
The owner of Lamex is investing, though. It's fine.
We are fucked. We are fucked. We are officially fucked.
We are in financial ruins.
But it would be really funny for us to go down with like a near record low points tally and still take 6 points off of Spurs on the way down. that would be fucking magnificent. Anyway, this week's football, tomorrow evening you've got Exeter versus Burton, Rotherham versus Mansfield, and Barnsley versus Wickham. 3 games that no one in history has ever said, "Do you know what? I think I'll watch that." Then we've got Cardiff Lincoln. It's a lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. Also lunchtime kickoff is Huddersfield Rotherham. I was going to say local derby, but it's really not local, is it? They're just sort of very. They're just sort of in that massive fucking county.
It's north of Watford Gap, isn't it?
Yeah,
probably
exactly. North of Watford Gap. Who fucking cares? Then at 3 o'clock we've got Luton Reading, Peterborough Port Vale, Doncaster Plymouth, or rather Plymouth Doncaster. Stockport County versus Mansfield has been postponed, presumably because of FA Cup. One of them still knocking around somewhere in it. I don't know.
Mansfield are playing Arsenal,
Man City.
aren't they?
Oh, it's Arsenal. Right.
Yeah.
Then we've got Barnsley, Exeter, Blackpool, Wigan, Bolton, Wickham, Bradford, Orient, and obviously Burton, Stevenage. It's been put at the bottom of the pile, presumably because that is literally the worst game in the league.
Well,
don't even get alphabetical order with
how you believe every week.
Yeah. We could be 17, 18, 19, 20 points clear at the top of the table. We'd still be one of the last on the Football League show. Every single week. And then for some reason, on Sunday, AFC Wimbledon versus Northampton. That well-known spicy fixture. Yeah.
They probably think it's MK Dons and it's a bit more local.
The M1 derby.
Yeah.
What if the AFC Wimbledon owners decide to move that team to Milton Keynes? All hell would break loose. You imagine the derby then.
Oh. Do you know what I saw? I saw a thing pop up on YouTube by some person talking about the football club that destroyed another football club, and I could see AFC Wimbledon in the badge in the thumbnail, and I was like, oh, are they talking about the time they fucked up that non-league club by buying their ground and then fucking them? No. What she thought we needed more entertainment and information about was MK Dons. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really, of the teams in this situation, that's the way you went down. Like it wasn't publicized enough. I mean, admittedly, it was 25 years ago, but I couldn't believe that was a story, and there was no despite the obviously rage baity title of the video. I was astonished that there was no mention of what AFC Wimbledon did to Kingstonian. So, I don't know.
Moving another team to Milton Keynes would be like when they moved the second team to LA and they already didn't give a shit about the first NFL
team. Yeah.
Okay, they did the same in the MLS as well. But I don't know. I was very. I mean, I can't stand MK Dons anyway. But I was very supportive of Wimbledon until I realised that their fans were just a bunch of fucking idiots as well, and just have this God-given right to believe that they deserve to be where wherever they think they deserve to be, and it's how many years you can play with them for. There's only so long you can do that for. But,
judging by Liverpool, about all of them.
Yeah.
I have some affection for that, like late 80s. Like obviously they won the FA Cup in 1988 famously, and that is one of my early memories of watching football as a kid. And it's just like
I wasn't born
yet.
The
whole country wanted Wimbledon to beat Liverpool, and because
proper football when men squeezed testicles and got away with it.
but exactly this, and now you sort of grow up and you realise, and you look at old footage, and they basically just beat them up.
Yeah. You look at old footage, like it literally was how many of these opposition players can we kick the living shit out of without getting sent off?
Well, Vinnie Jones took Steve McMahon out about a minute from the kickoff in that game. It was a premeditated.
It wasn't a minute in, was it? It wasn't
barely.
A minute in.
Not even that. Yeah.
He's famously. There's I don't know. I can't remember if this is the FA Cup final, but there's a famous clip of him. The kickoff happens. He runs straight through the man who receives the ball and gets a yellow card. Like it's literally about 6 seconds in, if that.
But I don't think it was not even a yellow card offence then. What he did.
No.
It's just.
I mean, we had a FA Cup winner from that Wimbledon team on our bench during the 2014-15 season. So name it, Adam.
Dave
Secondary quiz.
Dave Besson. Hang on. He got it right. Adam wins the quiz.
Here's some music for you.
55, as we learned from Nick's quiz the other day.
Yes, he was 55 on our bench, whilst his son was in goal. Although you wouldn't have noticed he was in goal because he didn't fucking stop anything.
Sam.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go. Sam
Just showing off now.
I think he was behind Chris Day in that Championship manager team I had, just on the pecking order.
Yeah,
rightly so.
Yeah. Rightly so. Yeah. I haven't got anything else. Last week. I added in a little bit where I mentioned a couple of sort of fun stories from around the world in football, where I've mentioned the Turkish goalkeeper who killed a seagull a goal kick, and then some other player did CPR and brought it back to life. I haven't got anything like that, so I just thought I'd mention that again. I might do that. I might start bringing in fun stories from football around the world. At the end.
Do you want to talk about the Burton game at all, or are we just glossing over that?
What? Oh yeah, we are supposed to talk about
the Burton game at all, or do you want to gloss over that?
You can tell my enthusiasm for that game, considering I forgot that it was happening, despite mentioning it less than 5 minutes ago.
It's got a disappointing draw written all over it, hasn't it? There.
Well, we don't beat
the away table.
Disappointing draw, wouldn't you? You take it.
Away at Burton, I'm not sure. Like, if you realistically want a playoff shot, you've got to be.
These are the sort of games you have to win.
But if you're happy to be top half, then a draw's fine. Depends how your mentality's lying.
I do not want anything other than a 3 points from this game. Anything else is unsatisfactory.
They were having a little bit of an uptick in form. They went unbeaten in 4, which was their longest unbeaten streak of the season. But then they got absolutely tonked 3-0 by Wycombe this weekend. So that form got punctured, and we need to continue the deflation.
That run of 4 games without a defeat is their best run in 3 years.
Jesus Christ!
I absolutely made that up, but it's so believable.
Oh yeah, you had me.
I bet they haven't gone some prick saying he won't cut his hair until they go 5 days undefeated.
I don't know, but it might help them raising money to fill the £8 million loss they've just made this last financial year. So
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
On the plus side, Terence Van Kooten has a new house, so that's good.
Bought for entirely by Burton, are we?
Luther probably built it.
No, Luther probably owns it. He's just renting it.
Yeah, he just rents it.
Investment.
Well, Terence, when he was here, Terence still lived down like Reading way, so he's almost certainly not living down this way anymore. He used to have to drive in.
Probably is. Probably is. It's probably commutes from here to Burton now. He's thinking, no, you know what? Somewhere in between. Yeah, that might work.
You wouldn't want to live too close to Burton.
Oh, fuck
Next
no.
week on the Real Estate Pod.
All right, dickheads. Yeah, no, that's enough. Has anybody else got anything to say?
No,
don't all fucking rush to it.
Orient next Tuesday is gonna be fun.
Oh no, that's a point. Fuck Richie Wellens. Yeah,
We'd already covered that.
that's all I've got to say.
You can't say it enough.
We'll also have another podcast between now and then. So
I won't be here.
you won't. I might invite Lang.
Unless I go to the Burton game and then tell you.
It's in Burton, so I don't know why the fuck you'd do that.
Seems unlikely.
If we invite Langers to that, I think he's going to be hating Wellens more than us at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I did get a question from somebody once after Langers had been on, saying why out of all of the Orient fans you could have invited on, do you invite somebody who openly says he hates the club
and doesn't go to watch games
doesn't go to watch games anymore?
I apologise for that question, but it's a fair question. It probably was me, in fairness.
I don't know. It probably wasn't you. I mean, the only Orient fan that is going to get an invite to this is someone who actively despises them. So Langers is probably the only one.
They don't have Beckles anymore, do they? They got rid of Beckles, didn't they? Which is a real shame because
did they?
He was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they might.
He was always worth a laugh, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know. I'm quite gutted about that. But
Omar Beckles now plays for Gillingham. Fucking hell! If there's one club he could have gone to that is probably more of a miserable outfit than Leyton Orient, it's fucking Gillingham, isn't it? Shit the beds.
Gillingham
with their fucking
clubs Nate hates.
Have they got Rockstar as their manager now? What's his name? Ainsworth.
Yeah, Gareth Ainsworth. Yeah, I think he's still there. He must be still there because I haven't heard his name mentioned in the as a potential future Stevenage manager for a while.
He's not been on Sky Sports for a while either.
No.
He usually just pops up on Sky Sports doing some punditry.
Speaking of people who should get a bloody haircut, yeah.
Hey.
That's definitely time to end the show. Everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good week. I would say go and find us to listen to us places, but you're already fucking doing it. So, yeah. Have a good week and up the borough.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Woo!
All right, it's safe to talk now. The stream on YouTube has finished.